Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. Hello, and welcome to the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. We are a quiz which tests out your knowledge of 1970s UK television in a fortnightly challenge. Every other week, we also bring you the My 70s TV Childhood podcast, which celebrates what it was like to grow up as a child in 1970s Britain and the important part that television played in our lives back then. This is our 67th quiz, which does sound like an awful lot of quizzes, but you keep telling us you enjoy it, so we keep on doing it. In fact, as you've told us how much you do enjoy our quiz, I've got some interesting news for you. Behind the scenes here at My 70s TV Childhood Towers, we've been working on something very exciting. The finest minds in podcast land have been engaged on a quest to bring you a version of our popular theme tune quiz that you can play at home with your family and friends. Now, we're currently in our pre-production phase, so we're getting ready to start manufacturing. But as we get to that point, we'd really appreciate it if you could let us know whether this is something you might be interested in buying. There's no commitment at this point, but so we can get production numbers right, we'd be really grateful if you go to our blog at www.my70stvchildhood.com and let us know whether you might be interested in the game. I should also add that any purchase of the game will help towards the costs of producing the podcast, so that in itself will be much appreciated. Thanks to all who filled in the form on the blog so far. It does seem like lots of you do fancy playing at home, as Bruce Forsyth might have said. So, on to our quiz. And about time too, I hear some of you say. If you're new to the quiz, then it's all very simple, and it is just for fun, although I know that some of you find it quite competitive. We've got 4 rounds of 5 questions, and each correct answer gets a point. And that's it. So grab a pen and paper, fill up your favourite beverage. It's tea again for me this week. Although the sun is shining as I'm recording this, so I may have a small gin and tonic later. I know how to live. And let's get started with round 1. And this is a round called The Race into Space, inspired by our recent podcast edition on all things space related and how they appeared on UK TV in the 70s. It was also the title of my Brook Bond T-Card album, which features in the same podcast. I'm going to ask you 5 questions related to space, and not just space, but space in the works of Jerry and Sylvia Anderson. Now, before I begin and anyone starts complaining, some of the shows referred to in the questions were made in the 1960s, but were regularly shown in the 1970s. Okay, let's go. Question 1. In the sci-fi drama UFO, Commander Ed Straker ran the global defence against the alien UFO attacks as the boss of SHADO. What did SHADO, and that's SHADO, stand for? Question 2. Which of the Thunderbirds was International Rescue's space station, sitting in orbit above the Earth? Question 3. And in another Jerry and Sylvia Anderson show, Captain Scarlet, where were the evil Mysterons from? And question 4. In Space 1999, what was the official role of Dr. Helena Russell, played by Barbara Bain? And question 5, still with Space 1999, what were the space vehicles used to fly in and out of Moonbase Alpha called? How is that for starters? Round 2 is our regular marathon or Fil Rouge round, inspired by the recurring round on It's a Knockout and its continental cousin Jeux sans frontières. All the questions refer to things we've covered in previous episodes of the podcast, so if you're a regular listener, you may have a very slight advantage. Question 1. In June 2025, we hark back to the days when our sporting heroes were prepared to go up against each other to prove who was best in Superstars. What was the name of the judoka, or judo player, who appeared on the show and became synonymous with his amazing performances in the gym, for example recording 108 squat thrusts in 1 minute during one world final? I feel a bit sore just talking about that. Question 2. The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin featured in October 2023. What was the name of the company that Reggie worked at during the first series? Question 3. Way back in September 2020, we look back at the animated version of The Arabian Nights, which was a regular insert into which US TV show? And question 4. In August 2011, we looked at some of Hanna-Barbera's less well-known cartoon shows, including Help, It's the Hair Bear Bunch. Where did the bears live in that show? So where did the bears live in Help, It's the Hair Bear Bunch? And question 5. In September 2023, we featured Tomorrow's World. Raymond Baxter, one of the hosts, was a highly decorated war hero. What did he do in the war to become so decorated? So what did Raymond Baxter do in the war? So that's halfway. All going well? Our next round is our popular Spin the Wheel and Name That Tune round, where I will firstly choose a year for the 1970s by spinning our specially constructed Wheel of Fate. I'll then input that year into our state-of-the-art AI-powered theme tune generator, which will choose 5 TV theme tunes from shows first shown on UK TV during that year. You'll get the hang of it. So let's spin the wheel. And it's landed on 1975. I don't think we've had that year for a while. Okay, let me input that into our AI-powered theme tune generator and see what we get. Okay, and here we go with theme tune 1. And how about theme tune 2? I would hope most of you recognise that one. But how about theme tune 3? Difficult, that one, I'd say, as is the next one. And finally, theme tune 5, which might be a little easier. And just like that, we're on to our final round already. And this is our TV Times round, where just about anything TV trivia related goes. Question 1. Who played the title role in the original 1970s version of Poldark? Question 2. Bernie Winters appeared in comedy shows with his brother for decades. What was his brother's name? So what was Bernie Winters' brother called? Question 3. What was the name of the 70s game show hosted by Fred Dinage from How? Oh, based on blackjack, or pontoon as we used to call it in this country. And question 4. Which character did Gareth Hunt play in The New Avengers? And finally, question 5. In which resort was hotel comedy Fawlty Towers set? And that brings us to the end of the quiz. Now, before I reveal the answers, let's go back to last time's bonus question. I asked you this. What was the name of the 6-part 1976 comedy series starring Spike Milligan and John Bird as Pakistani illegal immigrants, which was never broadcast due to its perceived racism? And the answer is The Melting Pot. So well done if you got that right. This time's bonus question is this. Including a special Christmas edition, how many episodes of the RAF National Service sitcom Get Some In were produced? And I'll allow you 2 either way. If you do know the answer, then drop us a line to quiz@my70stvchildhood.com. Otherwise, I'll give you the answer in the next quiz. Now, on to this time's answers. Round 1, our Race into Space with the Andersons round. In the sci-fi drama UFO, what did SHADO stand for? SHADO. And that stood for Supreme Headquarters Alien Defense Organization. There we are. Question 2. Which Thunderbird was International Rescue's space station in orbit above the Earth? And that was Thunderbird 5. Question 3. In Captain Scarlet, where were the evil Mysterons from? And they were from the planet Mars. Question 4. In Space 1999, what was the official role of Dr. Helena Russell, played by Barbara Bain? Dr. Russell was head of the medical section for Moonbase Alpha. And question 5. Still with Space 1999, what were the space vehicles used to fly in and out of Moonbase Alpha? They were the Eagles, which were regularly destroyed during each episode. So I'm not quite sure how they managed to keep replacing them, but that's another story. On to round 2, our marathon or Phil Rouge round. In Superstars, what was the name of the judoka who became synonymous with his amazing performances in the gym? And that was Brian Jacks. Question 2. In the first series of The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, what was the name of the company where Reggie worked? That was Sunshine Desserts. Question 3. The animated version of the Arabian Nights was a regular insert into which US TV show? That was the Banana Splits. And question 4. Where did the Hair Bear Bunch live? And they lived at the Wonderland Zoo. And question 5. What did Raymond Baxter do in the war to become decorated? He was an RAF fighter pilot. On to round 3, our Name That Tune theme tune round. The first theme tune was from The Cuckoo Waltz. That was a Granada sitcom. Theme tune 2, I suspect many of you have got this right. That was the theme tune to The Sweeney. Theme tune 3, a bit trickier, that one. That was from a short-lived sitcom called Sadie, It's Cold Outside. So well done if you got that and remembered that one. Theme tune 4 is a bit of an oddity as well. This was from a show that was devised to help older people fill their time after retirement, and it was called the 607080 show. So again, well done if you got that one right. And theme tune 5, that was a theme tune to Run Around with Mike Reed. On to our final round, the TV Times round. Who played the title role in the original 1970s version of Poldark? Robin Ellis. Question 2. What was Bernie Winters' brother called? Well, he was called Mike. So Mike Winters. And question 3. What was the name of the 70s game show hosted by Fred Dinage, based on blackjack or pontoon? That was Gambit. And question 4. Which character did Gareth Hunt play in The New Avengers? Well, he played Mike Gambit. which some of you might have noticed is the combination of the answers to question 2 and question 3, Mike and Gambit, and question 4's answer is Mike Gambit. You can see what I've been doing there. And finally, in which resort was hotel comedy Fawlty Towers set? It was set in Torquay in Devon. So, how have you done? Are you over the moon or sick as a parrot? Whichever, I do hope you've enjoyed playing, and if you did, then please do tell your friends. We will be back next week with our regular podcast and in a fortnight with our next quiz. Oh, and please do let us know if you're interested in our new game. Go to our blog at www.my70stvchildhood.com and you can fill out a form there. Until next time, do take care, look after those you love, and really look forward to seeing you again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz.